Boom, 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 boom,
La
boom,
la la la
boom.
la 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 la. Reminisce, reminisce. That's what
Yes,
we
yes.
do.
Every Tuesday, man. So what we do, man, carrying traditions of Saint Kofa. Sometimes we got to go back to collect what we may have forgotten, and just keeping it real, keeping it authentic, man. Rooted in hip hop culture, rooted in Canadian culture, African culture, man. We just here, man, vibing out and keeping the tradition going, man. Like consistency is where it's at, man. So that's what it is, man. Big up to you though, man, brother. Always here, man. Like, man, we've been going strong, man. Every week, man. Every week, faithfully, man. Tuesdays.
Yo, I look forward to
All
it, man. I'll lock it down. Nobody can. Actually, somebody offered me some money yesterday. They were like, "Yo, you want to do this job for some money? Very easy job." And I was like, "I can't because I do my thing on Tuesdays, and I need to do my thing on Tuesdays with my bro." So that's what it is. Would never change it for a thing.
That's super peace, man. But before we get into like our special guest today, man, I know you got some like news. Well,
Yeah,
actually, before we get into that, man, like do our our check-ins and whatnot, and
yo, I'm good. I'm
yeah.
good. I'm real good. I went to a full moon party last week. Not last week, yesterday.
Okay, okay.
It was on the beach. It was pretty good. Peace to the people who brought some food and the energy. It was just a nice human gathering and just got to chill on the beach beside a bonfire and enjoy the water and just took some
That's
pictures.
what's up.
It was peace. It was peace. Yeah.
That's
How
what's
about
up.
you though? How about you though? How about you?
Yeah, no, I've been chilling, man. I got to chill out over by Sugar Beach and just taking some of the moonlight. I know like I was doing some stuff like out in Scarborough, and I had to rush down to make sure I get my vote in. Put my vote in the
True.
ballot.
True. Did
And
that too. I did
but
that too.
but it was a beautiful night though. Like it definitely had like a nice type of like energy and just soaking that in, man. That new moon, that harvest moon energy. So that's what's up, man. But other than that, man, I'm feeling good. September is one of those months where it's like has this like transitional energy. It's like this the fall equinox, and we're getting ready for winter, and the leaves are changing. So it just naturally brings like this like transitional type of
Transition.
energy. So
For sure. For
yeah,
sure.
man, yeah, man. But no, man, feeling good, feeling motivated, feeling really spiritual, man. I feel like yeah. Anyways, let me just get off
Yeah,
that.
no, I feel you though. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Stay there, and keep walking with it, yo. That's peace. That's peace.
Indeed,
And,
man.
and yeah, it's interesting time. It's been an interesting week for hip hop.
Tell me more.
First, I want to give a quick tiny shout out to Lil Nas X because Lil Nas X dropped his album and it was
Yeah,
dope.
okay.
I listened to it. It was fresh. It's refreshing, and yeah, just keep the culture moving. It ain't all about just Drake and Kanye all the time. There's new other things happening. And I want to throw out there something. I saw a semi-credible rumor that says Aftermath and Interscope has a big fourth quarter planned, and that
Okay.
there is rumored to be a release for Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and Dr. Dre in the fourth quarter of this year. That's a rumor. It's a rumor. It's
Okay. Okay.
semi-strong rumor. There's definitely Kendrick release coming out, and there's Dr. Dre has talked about he's got his album out. There's people who said Dre's album is done and that they've heard it, and so it's just about when he's going to release it. We all know Dre has an album ready, but we don't know when he's dropping it. And there's rumors that Eminem is going to drop an album potentially on October 1st, maybe just next week. There's strong rumors.
Okay.
A couple shady artists are on their Instagram pages right now.
All right.
You got pictures. That girl Skylar Gray was saying on her Instagram, "Can't wait till October 1st." So there's people close to Eminem right now
Yeah,
keep talking about October 1st. So there's rumors he's going to drop Marshall Mathers 3, and
all right. Well, let's keep it hip hop, man. Keep it
so,
hip hop, man.
so
And anything else? Is there anything else that you wanna bring to the table before we invite our guests on? Because I know there's a lot to discuss, man. We got to get
yeah.
into some history and some futuristic stuff. So
Well, I mean, basically the big thing is the Fuji's 25-year tour reunion. That's something that I
that's
hope
kind of
comes to
hard.
Toronto. And I've never seen the Fugees. Seen Lauren, but never seen the Fugees.
Right. Right.
And they actually just announced it today. It officially is announced today. I think there's about 10 dates in America. There's a date in Europe, and there's two dates in Africa. So, but
Well, hey, man. Like, hopefully, they can be able to cross the border and keep that connection alive, man. Because I feel like one of the memories of like the Fugees is for Master T's, like I guess like retirement jam or like that block party that he had. You know what I mean? So that was pretty hard, but
I went there,
man. Yeah, I remember you telling the story. It's one of our original like Reminisce Show, moments or whatnot. So
yeah, no, that I know that Fugees have played. They played at Canada's Wonderland, and they also played at the Phoenix, and they played in Toronto a few times. And I've talked to people who've been to those shows. I never been to them. It would be great to see the Fugees, and it's a good time for that. It's a good time. Culture could use that. And there was rumors that like Praz and not Praz, but Wyclef and Lauren were like, yo, we needed to make some peace, and this is like Lauren. They said Lauren didn't even remember that it was the 25th anniversary of the score. They're like, yo, okay, yeah. So they're using this to make peace with each other and bless the world. So big up.
Yeah, I like that, man. It's healing, you know what I mean? And sometimes, especially as artists and different personalities, like people come together, go apart, and then, it's like, you can't erase those moments, you know what I mean? Like there's like a lot of magic in those times. I know there's stuff, but it's cool to see that there's like part of the healing process as well. And that's been like a major theme for me these days, like what could be done to move forward and just like progress things, man. So big up to the Fugees, man. I think that the community, the fans like myself appreciate that. And to me, that's grown folk stuff. You know what I mean? Where you're allowed to evolve and try to find something to move forward with. So that's peace, man.
That's what it is. Yeah, we all live and learn, and we all grow, and we can if we don't make distance, we can make peace and reconnect with old friends and old enemies. And it's just new chapters of life. So yeah, to our guest maybe. Yo,
man. You got the intro?
Yeah. Quick shout out to Colleen and Righteous and Kwame, our people in the cut. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna bring out, special guest, man, King Mizo, man, like OG SFA fam, from the beginnings, man. There's like so much history that we covered last time, man, of his foundations, and his, making his mark within like the Canadian Toronto hip hop scene. And, there's a lot of things that he's involved with right now, staying as an innovator within like the NFT world, getting ready to release like a new album. But, in the tradition of St. Kofa, sometimes we got to go back to collect what we may have forgotten, man. So we're going to get back into some, origins of like SFA, some of the beginning days and how music was used as a tool for like social justice and just, like what he's been up to like right now. And, so we're excited to, catch up and reminisce. And I'm gonna bring in the homie, man, King Mizo, yo. Jeez.
Oh, shit, my phone's falling. What are you guys saying?
Yo, living it.
Fugees?
Yeah, Fugees reunited, yo. It's official. World tour.
That's amazing. Yeah.
25th anniversary. Right?
I'll go to more than one if possible.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. One for the photos and one without a camera. Boom. I need 2 days.
It's true. It's true. It's hard to do both, man. It's hard to do both.
Oh,
Yo, man, but big up to you for coming through, man. As usual, showing love, support, man, and keeping that energy circulating. Representing from like the west coast. So I know different time zones and whatnot. It's like a 3 hour difference. What is it?
Yeah, it's like 4 right now. We're 3 hours behind. Yeah.
Oh man, 4 o'clock. Yeah, man, it's like already dark right now and whatnot. But yo, man, big up to you for coming through. I know there's a lot that we want to cover and get into, like the new project. I even want to play like a little bit of the new video, Mi Amor. It's mad catchy, yo. I've been like just singing it, man. It's like Mi Amor, Mi.
Sick.
So
okay.
Big up to that, man. But yo, man, I think we got to go back, man, because last time we were here, we didn't even get to talk about some of the foundational stuff of like SFA and how, moving more into like a place of like social justice and like why that was important for us, some of the influences that were happening at that time. Something that came up to mind, and I don't know if you're aware of this though, but, for those who don't know, a lot of us don't know, but we really started, doing a lot of like, Stolen from Africa and incorporating like the social justice stuff within our music when we went to UFT, University of Toronto. So there was a lot that was really instrumental that really propelled us to move forward. But I don't know if you heard, man, but Professor Twaru passed away, yo.
Yo, I heard. Patrick Calculus actually got me, and I was talking about him today with my wife, actually, just talking about the impact, about the black skin, white mask, how long will this fight last, verse, you know what I mean? I was like, rest in power to that brother. Yo, if I could say like that guy did no suit, no tie, because the tie's a noose, man. He don't need dress codes when he's coming to educate people. He was a professor at University of Toronto. And like I feel like he sparked a lot of that revolutionary energy and, you know, showed us that path. Like for me at least, and I'm pretty sure for you, Calvinists, like all of us.
Well, absolutely. You know, because I remember like when we were at the University of Toronto through the transitional year program, it was my first time when I realized that like education can be empowering. It was like the first time that I'm like getting stuff that I'm like, this is feeding my soul. And like this professor, like he's dropping bars, man. Like I can just put like an instrumental and like he's on fire. And that kind of like sparked the whole idea of getting like all the mandem like at school, you know what I mean? Because we always were intelligent. We always had that drive, but we just never had the opportunity, you know, like high school kind of, you know, pushed us out for whatever reasons. It wasn't engaging, didn't have ways to relate. But, you know, going to, you know, to Professor Tuaru's classes like Caribbean Thought really gave us like content for like our music and really just, you know, motivate us to be not just like the people who just like rap about it, but we actually want to be about it. You know what I mean? So like, so when I heard like the passing of him just really brought me back to those foundational days, you know, of being inspired by that, man. But you know, like when like let's take it back, man, to like, you know, like It Will Fall days, man. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like it's all like, you know, part of them. Like It Will Fall was like, you know, the album that myself and Misery did. It was an album that we sold like on the streets. You know, that's what we did to hustle and whatnot. And, you know, it really came about because of, you know, Professor Tuaru's, you know, class, you know, Caribbean Thought and all the knowledge that we're getting about colonialism and imperialism and really understanding some of the systemic like oppressions that we're facing. Because before that, our language was typically like, you know, like F the police and this and that. That's where we started saying "bun the colonizer" and whatnot.
Y'all started "bun the colonizer" before anybody, yo. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? See, that belongs to everybody because yo, say it, yo. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's how I feel too. I feel like that was like, yo, "bun the colonizer." That became like exactly. It encompassed F the boy, them, F that guy, yo, F the government. It's like, nah, yo, "bun the colonizer." There's good and bad in everything. Colonialism is a state of mind, not a skin tone. Boom. You know what I mean?
There we go, man. Yeah, man. So like, you know, so speaking of like SFA and you know what I mean? Like when we were going hard, you know what I'm saying? And you as someone, you know, of like South Asian descent and, you know, representing Stolen from Africa, like I remember that there was like now things are like, you know, people understand things and whatever. It's not as like there's not much as like resistance. Even when we go to schools, it's like oh yeah, come through. But like back then, like there was like a lot of like resistance. Like first of all, like people thought that like we hated white folks and that we were like the new Black Panthers or something crazy. And then I know that even you like face resistance, like, you know, like as being like a South Asian man, and people are like, yo, like why is this guy representing Stolen from Africa and going so hard and whatnot? So like, I just wanted to like give space to that and like, you know, kind of go back to like, you know, like your reasonings and some of the things that you were feeling at that time.
Yeah, yo. Yeah, for real. That's like so many feelings.
I know, indeed.
But yeah, yo, the resistance that we faced from people people feeling like with our message in our music, you know, and what we are doing and the message in our music and the message in our words and our actions. You know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of people are like, yo, you hate white people, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, that's why we had to say that line over and over. Colonialism is just a state of mind. It's not a skin tone.
Right.
We said that over and over. And even then, no one would understand. Because it was, I wouldn't say no one would understand. People just didn't want to. People were hurt by it. You know what I mean? From their perspective, for whatever their reasons are. But it's like, yo, it was a lot of resistance. Going to school, it was like, what are you trying to teach them? I remember like being like, yo, the students, let us know. Do you feel comfortable with the teachers in the room or not? You know, and that's how we do our workshops. And there'd be so much resistance until after the workshop. And then even the teachers would come through and be like, yo, what were you talking to them about? You know, it's like, yo, how did you keep their attention for so long? You know, so it was beautiful to see. The resistance definitely gave us a way to create a new language and to prepare, to understand of the resistance and the polarization we're going to face. I know that was your last episode. You were talking about that. Indeed. So it's like, so that's beautiful. We got the tools from there. But me as a South Asian man, honestly, man, I feel like when I grew up, and this is just my experience. When I grew up, Keelan Lawrence, some of the brownest buildings you could see. They have a derogatory name for it. You know, it was a palace of some sort, and it was like we were there. There are a lot of East Indians and West Indians out there, brown folk, you know, and that's how I grew up. But honestly, when I dealt with the police, or when the police dealt with me, I should say, I always felt like I didn't understand. At that moment, I felt like it was the black struggle. That's how I felt. Most people, Indians, didn't even look at me as Indian, man. You know what I mean? A lot of Indian people looked at me as a black man first. It was like, it was just a perception of what they see. I would always be like, yo, bro, like, what are you talking about? You know? And then it came to a point, I'm like, yo, bun this. I'm not going to explain I'm like, yo, I want to do something for freedom. Like, because when I was young, it was like in my heart when I was really young. It was like, yo, I could see myself at protests when I was a kid. And it was like, yo, I want to do things for equality, for freedom, take care of the children. You know what I mean? And then take care of the communities. So when the moment came, I went hard because I had to. I went hard because when I was in equity studies class, or when I was in sociology, or any of these classes, I had a different understanding of it. I was like, well, mind you, this is after September 11th, because after September 11th is when I was brown. But I wasn't brown, I was Muslim. You know what I mean? And even then, people are confused. Muslims isn't a skin; it's not a skin tone, you know. And it just shows again polarization at that moment, huge moment, right? So I'm just in this, and I'm like, yo, I'm in this for the people, man. And I'm like, let me think of the roots. With all this education I've been getting, I'm like, yo, let me think of the roots. First of all, what is it to be an ally, and what are the roots of this all? If I want to free the South Asian people being called terms, blah blah blah, in any way. And we spoke about it last episode, is really quite different when it comes to slavery and indentureship. Those are two different things, right? And it's like, and two different types of savagery, like from the colonizer when it comes to that. But yeah, man, I know I'm going off, but as a South Asian male,
keep going.
I just felt like, yo, I'm gonna do something. And the roots of this all is we're on indigenous land, and I saw my entire life how my black friends got dealt with. You know what I mean? One of my best friends was framed when we were like 14. He was such a good kid. Such a good kid, man. He was I didn't even notice then. But years later, I'm going to get back to what happened, but I want people to know that years later, after traveling the world, being beside KDB, he's original member of Poor Man. I know we'll talk about that. Member of Babylon War Child, my brother for life, you know? It's like being beside him, I was like, oh, traveling the world, I was like, oh, that's the black experience. But when he's not there, I still get treated like he does. You know what I mean? Until people, but I understand that when people understand I'm South Asian, there's a lot less of a threat behind that. You know, they don't feel as scared anymore when they know, you know? And like, so what happened to me was, that's why I had to go hard, man. And that's why it did hurt when people didn't understand why I was there. Even when I tried to explain it, I had to step back heavily. It was a natural moment to step back, though. I actually needed to step back because of what was happening in my personal life. I need to get a grip on myself and my health and addictions at the moment, hidden addictions. But also, I had to step back because it hurt me so much, man. I remember I went to the TDSB school board meeting when I was on the front line with everybody throwing stones, man, stones. And I had to speak up out there for my spirit. It was a bad thing to do business-wise because it's a TDSB. That's where we were doing workshops and getting paid, you know? And it paid little. So many times for free, but paid. And so that stuff definitely hurt me. But it was a great time so I could understand the polarization even within the struggle. You know what I mean? And I've been framed by police by that point. You know? I've been beat up by police with a phone book on me left in Ajax by that point. You know what I mean? Like, those things have been happening to me. So that's why I was there fighting for the struggle to the end. And I still fight for it in my own way. But I'm definitely more conscious and weary at moments when I'm stepping into any circle. And I do it cautiously. And I shouldn't even say weary. I should just say I'm cautious. Because I need to be a people's space. I don't know where they're at right now. I don't know where I'm meeting them. You know?
Yeah. Well, one thing that I'll always big you up for is like you always had that passion, that drive, and then you know what I mean. Like when I really take it in, like it really just boils down to humanity. Like you like really cared and had like love for the people, and just like you knew that you had a voice, and you use it accordingly. You know what I mean? It definitely like paved the way and opened up a lot of doors, and did what it needed to do. Like because sometimes sometimes like we do have to be disruptive. You know what I mean? Sometimes we do have to like make noise and call action, because that's how things start moving forward. You know what I mean? And I know that a lot of like that energy, like, you know, like brushed up on me too as well. And I'm like, yo, like I can actually have a voice. I don't have to like be always like cautionary all the time. Like sometimes you got to like, you know, let it out. And that's just being authentic. You know what I mean? So I always want to big you up for bringing that energy to the table, and, you know, getting like the wheels in motion for like the stuff that we've been doing with SFA. Like you mentioned about the schools.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, like we were there when like Afrocentric schools were just like an idea. And now like having programs and stuff is like a regular topic. Like, you know, like cultural programs are like, you know, pretty much well integrated within the TDSB. And when we're talking timelines, this is like 2005, 2006, you know what I mean? So we've been doing the school stuff for like, you know, quite a while, and really showing like the bridge between like arts and like education, and how it can be really used to empower young people. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
Before a quick moment, man, I just want to show this picture, man, and you know, take it back a little bit and go to you know what I mean, some of the rap crews, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know
Let's
what I mean?
go.
I don't know if you see this image here, man. Like,
ooh,
you know, like
Poor Man Militia.
Poor Man Militia, man. Like, what are some thoughts and feelings, man, that come through? Like now looking back,
Ooh.
I mean, there's a lot of layers. I'm not going to lie, man, but it's a lot of layers. But, you know, looking back after all these years, you know what I mean, and seeing the energy, like what was happening back then, like what does like Poor Man Militia mean to you?
Yo, man, this is a perfect workshop. That's what that was. When I look at it from now, it was like a bunch of kids, you know, we were a big man though, you know, in our mind. And we were from everywhere. Like we were from all around, you know, Canada, all around Toronto, all different hoods, you know. Even back then, mans were different people in the squad were representing flags and different flags from different places. Like, but everyone came together. It was basically a faction of crooks at the round table through archaeologists and all of them. And us, like basically you guys and me, and then we all connected. But to me, when I look at that era, oh, the fire. Like, yo, man, not to be conceited, but yo, we just kept going. Yo, it would have been over. Because Poor Man had this energy, man. I remember our last show, like in the city, everyone heard about us. Everyone knew about us. We sold so many CDs, performed so many times. 9 of us, I believe, plus extras. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we'd go up on stage. I remember our last show that we ever had, you know, just because, you know, how we stay segregated and polarized through everything out there, man. It was a great topic of the week. You know what I mean? But it's like, I remember our last show, we didn't even need a mic. Mans were just like, oh, the stage was rumbling. Everyone is rapping everyone's verse. Like, I didn't even need to rap my verse. Everyone would do it. And it was loud. We needed no mic. And it was, I think, at the Silver Dollar Room, I think. No, not Silver Dollar. It was somewhere else that shut down right after.
It was at El Macombo.
It was El Macombo?
Macombo, yeah.
Okay.
I believe so,
yeah, man. And that was a time, too, when that brother Alpha was around that show. That was the last time we saw brother Alpha at the last show. And rest in peace and rest in power to brother Alpha, one of the dopest OG graph artists in from Canada. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. But that's what Poor Man reminds me of, bro. Honestly, like, it was such a good time, man. We made such good music. We had such great break-off groups. And then me and you had It Will Fall album from there. I don't know what came first, but it was a really good time, man.
Yeah. No, it was the It Will Fall album came out in 2004, and then the Poor Man Militia, like, you know, collaborative album came out the next year, you know, and then a few other projects in between. Like there was like a lot, like there was many music. You know, like for me, like that era was just like you said, like it was a great like workshop, a great space to just be inspired, you know, because there's so much energy. Like I remember going to the studio, man. Big up Norms and archaeologists, man. Always big them up for just opening their homes to us to just come record and spend mad hours. You know what I mean? I remember like Norm's wife, he was always mad chill and just like, I'm like, just bare man's in the house, like from early morning to the end of night, recording and whatnot. And, you know, hearing certain songs that were like maybe incomplete, and then you just drop a verse on it, like certain songs you would hear and like, yo, if you snooze, you lose, you know what I mean? Like, so it was very, very competitive. And I think at the time we didn't really realize like like we didn't have like any like structure or organization, you know, in the sense of like direction, you know, because it was just all raw passion. You know, we just did our thing and whatnot, and just doing it strictly for the love. And you know, at certain points, like there would just be clashes of like, you know, like egos and personalities, and you know, when I look back, you know, like I feel like there's a lot that could have been done, but everything happens for a reason. You know, I think we all learned what we need to learn. We came together for what we needed to come together for, and then branched off where it needed to go. But those are some like incredible like foundational times. Really taught me a lot about myself, and just like, you know, like interacting with people and communications, you know, because a lot of things, I think when the crew broke down, was a lot of like misunderstandings and breakdowns in communication and whatnot. So like, I don't know, like you can go back, like, well, what do you think like would have been something that could have like maybe prevented some conflicts or whatever within the crew?
Yo, just not reacting quickly, man. Just not reacting like that instantly, like thinking before you react, you know, and think about that way. You could think about what we're reacting to. Because I feel like we were young, we were hot-headed, you know what I mean? And we were always in a competitive zone. It was just, that's how it was. It was love. Like I remember being places, we're just in the studio about to go to a show. Everyone's wilding out. The basement's packed. And then KDB starts battling me. KDB's my brother. Why? It was a battle drill. He's battling me. I'm like, all right, I'll battle you. Gotta look up because he's a tall giant.
Right.
Like battling this guy. I know it's like, it was competitive. So what could have been done is being calm, but it was like hard to avoid, man. It was that age. It was hard to avoid. I feel like if we had more knowledge of self at that moment, we would have been able to stop and think for a minute and realize why someone's feeling a certain way, why someone said something, and we'd be able to value the bigger picture and the bigger connection with that human, you know? We'd be able to see the magic we have, the gold mine that we had, you know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed. And recognizing that like everyone, you know, will have their time to shine, you know? Because I know at the time, like we were getting a lot of like recognition and whatnot. You know, we had interviews on like MTV and Much Music and, you know, Urbanology magazine, like a lot of like, you know, like press and whatnot. And I think at the time, like the collective didn't really understand that, yo, like one man shining means we're all shining, you know? Like there's certain moments that we can't all be doing this, or we can't all be in the interview, or we all can't be like at the schools. You know what I'm saying? Like I think like that's one thing I learned, that energy like rotates, you know, everyone has their time, and then whoever's popping, yo, you get behind that person, you know what I mean? Break that open and then have that rotate. You know what I mean?
Yo, Mizo, like as far as building on building, like that's something that hip hop is supposed to do, like crews just coming together and pushing each other like that. I didn't get to see some. I saw some of it, but I didn't get to see some of the other places. But one thing that I always like wondered how y'all did is just, especially you, is just some of the places that you traveled. So I was wondering if you could talk about like, I don't know, just like some like just how you got to like Greece or like Brazil or something. Just like one of those, because that's the ill. Like not everybody did that, and that's ill.
Yo, thank you, bro. And that was, I love talking about it because it was like, yo, those are great memories. And it was like, to be honest, yo, that is me testing my resilience. You know what I mean? I felt like I spoke out so much. Like what happened with Poor Man, what happened to other circles I was with, I was very hot-headed. So I'm like, I'm feeling this, you're feeling that one, I'm feeling this, so boom, clash. And then it's like, what happens? Like we said before, I could have handled many things in different ways, and many things I'm glad I handled it how I did. And nothing would change. And it's, but yeah, I had to find my own way. I'm like, yo, I'm not getting those shows out here. Bun it. I got to think outside of the dot. This world is huge. My parents traveled here from India.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, let me go do some research. And I'm like, yo, we were actually one of the first Canadian artists to really travel in Europe before, other than Swollen members.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? And because if people just wouldn't do it. And that was what I remember. I heard it many times, and I'm hoping that's the real thing. And if it isn't, it's all good. But just in case. But yo, I remember, so we're going out there, and my boy's just like, yo, we got a show for you in Czech. We were doing Canada tour. And I said, yo, my boy we got a show for you out in Czech Republic, but they're only paying 400 euros. No flight, no nothing. I'm like, yo, tell them to book it. Put us on the flyer. Yo, dude in my band at the time, he's like, yo, no way, we got to wait for the money. I'm like, yo, bro, the money won't come unless we put it on the flyer. Put it on the flyer. We put it on the flyer. I'm like, now we got to go. We're on the flyer. So we found we brought that in, you know what I mean? The universe dropped that on us, and then we ended up there. So we get to Czech Republic, we drive to a small town named Hodonín, and that's where a festival is. All the tents are put up. It's a 3-day festival. We have a place to stay, and I'm like, we have a place to stay, like 3-day backstage, but like, I think I told you this part, the unlimited vodka dispenser. And those times I didn't make wise decisions still. You know what I mean?
You only live once in this.
Yeah. You know, we do the show. Basically, long story short, amazing show. I'm at an ultimate high, you know? And people know our music. They're reciting our lyrics, but they can't speak to me in English, man. I'm like, this is crazy. So like me, I'm like, I can't do I got to go backstage. I understand, though. You got to play the game because that's how people's psychology is when you're too accessible. But it was always hard for me, and I still don't feel right doing that. I'm chilling with all of these people that recited my shit. You know, I'm buying them all shots. You know, we're going to chill, do our thing, you know? So we did that beautiful show. The weekend ends. Everything starts coming down. We have no money. Promoter didn't pay us. We're trapped because we went to Europe with nothing. Just a spindle of CDs and T-shirts. What do? We tell the promoter, we're like, we're staying at your house until we can hustle enough CDs. So we stay at his house, we hustle a bunch of CDs, we leave, we go to Germany, we get a show.
Wait, how long did you stay there?
A week.
Okay.
A week. So then we travel, and it was mad fun at the end of the day. We traveled to, the promoter was a young kid, man. He was like 16. Like so I couldn't be mad at him. And he was just so excited. We hung out with him. He's like, stay at my house. We could have lived there. Could have been living in his house still. But we ended up going to Germany. Boom, someone gives us a show. At that show, we meet someone else. Europe's so small. Boom. We ended up staying for 3 months, opened up for Onyx at like Biel in the Kupol. It's like a big bunker, you know, like a huge festival out in Europe. We snuck our way onto, we were sneaking onto things, into hip hop camp. Just went there. We're like, let's go. It's one of the largest hip hop festival in Europe. I'm like, we're going to go and we're going to bombard all the interviews like we're performing here. Then they're going to invite us next year. And that's what happened. So we jumped into the place. I'm like, I don't know if we could get in or not, but I go right to the, my things I used to run, Logics. I go up there. I'm like, we're here. Unknown Misery, Babylon Word Child for 2. Boom. I'm just mad busy. I'm busy. My phone doesn't even have reception. I'm just like, And then these guys are like, sorry, we don't have it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have it, man? We're all the way from Canada, and I know it's gonna work. I should have just said, I might have even said A, just like that, just so they know. They're like, talk to someone quickly, let us in. We must be a big deal, psychologically. Backstage, built with so many people, man, and met a lot of big, artists I looked up to from back in the day, from Sean P. Sean P owed me money for a verse. He didn't even give me a verse yet. And I saw him there and I was like, and he's like, I brought it up to him. And he's like, you that little guy from Canada? That's what he said to me. I'll never forget, man. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay, because that verse is with him. You know what I mean? That verse is still with him in a sacred place, man. So that's beautiful. But basically, I could go off, but we did that. And after that, it was like a travel bug. I'm like, we got to do this. That's where the tour money's at. That's where we can sell all of our merch. That's where we can sell all of our product easily. And as long as you keep it moving, you get free hotels. You have a free hotel, a free hostel, whatever it is. If you don't make it, you get an Airbnb for a few nights. Go to a bigger city, hustle on the streets. The hustle's still alive there, bro. They're in a time machine. They're still stuck in the 90s, man.
That's great. That sounds fantastic. And thank you for sharing that,
This just kind of reminds me that you just brought back some memories of like our early days of just doing media. You know what I mean? Because even like when we have like this podcast right now, Reminisce Show and whatnot, like all that goes back to like, I kind of call it like the lost element of hip hop, which is like finesse. You know what I mean? Like, and I know you remember, man, like when we like finessed like CMW, Canadian Music Week. All because we saw that Raekwon from Wu-Tang was performing at the Royal York Hotel. So anybody who knows the Royal York Hotel across from Union Station, prestigious hotel, like we're like, Wu-Tang performing here? This doesn't even make sense.
No.
So then we go through, and then we walk around where we're just kind of looking around and stuff, and it's like, like media, and then we just kind of finesse away. We're like, it's exactly what you just described. We're like, we're on the list. We're just out here, and eventually we got our media passes, and it really just shows that when you have that determination and that drive, that certain energy, that, you know, that vibe, man, like doors open. And hip hop has always been that way. You know what I mean? When doors are closed, we find a way. So it's so beautiful, and it's just always been a reminder. And that energy still happens to this day. I still have to use that. I still have to, like, you know, like put on a certain vibe and be like, yeah, we're supposed to be here. And it's like, oh, okay, and make it happen, yo. So
exactly.
That's some memories, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, remember the time we walked into the show and I was just like, yo, bro, videotape me from there, and I'm just gonna walk in like we're live or something. So you start videotaping me. The security is right at the door. I basically stand right beside the security, point at the sign. I'm like, yo, we can live and direct. Yo, check it out. Yo, come on in. I turn around. We're just in the venue now. Yo.
Yeah. That's a great one. That's great.
Yo, the universe always says yes, man. You just gotta go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, I feel that. Much love.
Yo, before we get into like some like new music and whatnot, I don't know if we cover this in the next one, but like, you know, like you like leaving Toronto and just like, you know, moving like out west, like what were some of like the decisions that went through that? Because I mean, that's like, you know, you have like, you know, family established, a lot of, you know, like Toronto is like, you know, you're born and raised. There's a lot of like, you know, attachments here and whatnot. But then to have like the idea of like, you know what, like I'm out. Like, you know what I mean? I'm curious to know like what that process was like. Was that easy? Was there like sacrifices, like things that you had to like, you know, compromise? Like what was that like for you?
Well, yo, first, like there are a few reasons, you know, and attachments is one of them, because that's good and bad, you know. I needed people to let go. And it was like, I needed to let go. So, yo, for me at first, it was like a decision. I was like, man, I don't like my path right here, you know. I don't like the things I'm around, to be honest, in my life. I didn't like the things I was around. I didn't like where I was going in my career. Like, I didn't want to deal with music no more. I just hated music, you know. Well, the industry, I should say. And the more the people's energy within music, you know, how it is. But, like, yo, I had a lot of trouble in my life seeing my daughter, and I know one day I've been getting myself prepared to become the best version of me. So when she's ready, she will be there. You know what I mean? And I'll be able to share everything. I could be able to share all of me with her. You know what I mean? And so those are all the reasons. And it was like I couldn't stay here. You know, I just couldn't. In my spirit, I was sad. I was depressed. And I'm like, yo, I got to go. And it was sacrificial because, like, my parents, I still see them. I want to take care of them as they get older. My sister, you know, right, like even right now, my sister, I have a baby niece, you know, and it's like I'm not always there. Yeah, I wish I was there every day now.
Word.
But I left, and it was a hard decision because I felt a lot of emotions when I was doing it. I straight shed a tear. Didn't know why, really. I didn't understand my tears, but I shed some tears, and I had to tell myself over and over. I'm like, yo, this is my conclusion, because it's not forever. I'm just going somewhere. I'm not like being taken somewhere and I have to stay there. I'm going somewhere, and I could come back. So I'm like, that made it easier. So I went, I rolled through here, and it was the best decision I made in my life, man. You know what I mean?
Why do you say that?
I came here, I got into harm reduction work easily, you know, easily. It was easier for me. It was a fresh slate also from me. It's a small city. It's a big city, China, but it's a small city. With my outrage and, you know, me lashing out at moments from how I feel. It's like, I burned a lot of bridges, man. And it takes time for those to rebuild, you know, and some will never rebuild, you know. And so it got in the way of a lot of my work. I felt like I got work easier out here. I felt like because of that, I felt a bigger responsibility. I got to be alone. I already think all day. I'm still practicing how to silence the mind, you know. It's really hard for me, to be honest. And then when out here, I can go I started going into the mountains. I chilled by myself for the first 2 years. I didn't hang out with no one. I went to work. On my days off, it was just me. No one came to my spot. You know what I mean? I just did my thing, you know? And I had moments to meditate. I had moments to get in touch with the universe. I found gemstones out here. I found different energy work out here. You know what I mean? And this place like really helped me on a spiritual level, man. I went on a trip to Salt Spring Island. And that was the first time I was like, I'm going to still make music, but I was trying not to be involved in the industry. I wasn't looking for any success. I was like, I'm successful enough. I'm just going to. And then after after 2 years I quit music and made a comeback. I'll explain. But I basically ended up doing that and went to Salt Spring Island. There were 8 of us, the power of 8, and we unlocked something, man. Everybody had a spiritual experience, you know, where the sun was, you know, becoming the tree of life, you know, just like this. Every one of us on a different level. My brother spoke to Shiva, you know, and this my brother who would never even say something like that.
Right.
He doesn't even get involved, you know. And it's like, yo, it was a beautiful moment in the last day I was there. We were there supposed to be there for one night. We ended up staying a few days just on a journey, and then I was taking a shower the last day when we were about to leave, and it felt like the information from the entire universe just passed through me quickly. Wow. I understood it all, but I don't remember any of it. And I didn't understand it after I understood it either. It was just, I got that moment though.
It's an experience. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah. And that's why it's been hard to leave. And obviously there's been ups and downs since, because that's life, but it's mostly on the up. It's like Bitcoin. Don't be scared. We're getting there. Yeah.
Beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Like, I love these like spiritual revelations, you know, and that's something that's, you know, that these conversations need to be like more had, you know what I mean? Because I feel like so much around us is like designed to keep us like, you know, disconnected from those from source, you know, and to really look at things from a broader perspective and to, you know, find ways to heal. That's essentially what it is. Like that's my journey right now. You know what I mean? Like all the different traumas and experiences from like the past. Now I'm like at this like healing space and just really like letting go of like the energy that doesn't serve me anymore, and just really, you know, like moving towards being my best version of myself, just like how you mentioned, you know, and to me, like that's living, that's doing the work, and it just makes things everything like worthwhile, you know what I mean? So big up to you on that. That being said, man, I know there's like, you know, some new music, man, like you've been dropping. I'm gonna actually play a bit of this video real quick, man. More
sure.
That I've been having in my head, like every now and then I'm just walking around and it just like pops in my head, yo, and nice. I have a few favorite moments in the video which I'll share after because I know you want to. So I'm like this is, anyways. Let me just play. Let me play this for those who haven't seen this, man. Me and more, man. Let's get into it.
Upside peace. I'm going God mode in demon time. Crush them all. Unlimited ammo, come and beat the line. That you eat, it's dinner time. Oh yeah. Then pull off your maintenance cap, you line. You wearing bandanas, you better blind. Falling off the fences, you can't pick the side. Go and get a number, don't be calling mine. I be too busy told I be making records, you be playing dress up, and you just gotta rap to impress us. Yeah, I picked the roses made in brown from the doors. Split the seas like Moses. You might as well call me God. Me and more. We on tour. Feed the poor, Harry Ball. Me and more. There we go. Me and Mizo when I made it like this song. Me and more. When it's song. Me and more. We on tour. Feed the poor, Harry Ball. Me and more. There we go. Me and Mizo and I made it like this song. Me and more. When it's song. I raise the dead from the floor, I watch it grow. I get it live in the morning. I kill the stairs, then I raise with the smoke. I killed the king, took the ring, melted gold. I raise the dead from the floor. I get it live in the morning. The stage, I raise with the smoke. I killed the king, took the ring, melted gold. Then by the beat, I made it blow. I pop the key with the streets, I fit the hole. I turn my wrist and lock the door, I'm passing go. Me want more. They want my data, so I broke the internet. Satoshi stacking in the lab. I'm bad, cause I work really bad. Ain't no empty bread, say my name in vain. I don't even know that they exist, I must be doing something right. If they hating on the king, I know it's getting I might feedback gotta do it, man. I'm killing all the devils with my decibels, and they don't know who it is. Keep the beer with me, my presence thinking I'm holy ghost. Keep the care for me, I never sent the money though. I'm a legend, making courage, gotta hold I'm a legend, make you come together. Oh, you the ball, the ball, the ball, the ball, every ball, the ball, the law. King Mizo when I made it like the song.
Hey.
Yo. That's it.
Hard.
Yo. That's it. When did you make that?
Yo, I made that song earlier this year, and we made the video, I think, in May or something like that.
That's dope.
Yeah. Respect, man. It was mad fun still.
No, and it looks like you're having fun, and I like that, because I know, like, because I've seen your recording process, and I know that that was one of those like effortless songs for you. You know, you're just having fun in the booth and doing your thing or whatnot, and it shows. You know what I mean? And it's like super catchy. But there's this one scene like where you're like in the booth, and then like you're like walking over to like the engineer, and you're like doing this like finger thing with the knobs. I'm like, this guy doesn't even know what knobs he's even talking about. This guy's pretending like he knows it. I'm like, nah, man, this guy's just trying to like, say, yeah, man, you know, me just
100%.
So when I saw that, I was like just dying. I'm like, because I know you. I'm just like, I don't even know what those knobs do, man. He's just like
100%, man.
And then the next one, which has me dying, is like when you have your hand up like this and you're in that like Sultan, like, you know, like and you're just doing this shoulder.
Yo, to me,
it's mad funny to me, but it's mad funny. But it's
dope.
Supposed to be.
Yo, that part was exactly like, to me, that part was one of my favorite parts of the act in the video. It's like, yo, I'm trying to not trying to. I am having more fun with the music.
You are.
And like, I want to also share that personality. That's why I'm no longer Unknown Misery. It's like I was saying before, I want to carry that name. And
I'm King Mizo.
You know?
Yo, King Mizo, like, I totally feel you there. And like, I mean, I've been on my own wavelength, but that's another thing that I've been realizing lately is that humor is one of the best ways to drop jewels these days, man. I mean, yo, like, we all got to deal with it. I mean, sometimes it's like Dave Chappelle is doing more for education than fucking Chuck D on social media. It's like, not to disrespect Chuck D in any way, but I'm just saying people will listen to more shit if you like slip it in a joke and then be like, yeah, let's joke about fucking the melting of the ozone layer, or let's have a comedy joke about racism. Like, you know, it's not that funny, but a good comedian can be like, make people think.
Yeah. And just, I want to add to that, you know what I mean? Because like me and Mizo, like, we spend like a lot of time together building and whatnot. And like the comedy element, like, you've always been a funny guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you always had jokes and whatnot. Like, and you know, I was blessed to really see a lot of that side, you know, because a lot of times people would just see your, you know, the fire and like, you know, just like, but like a lot of the times, man, there was always jokes. There was always something funny going on. And this is silly. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like silly moments, you know what I mean? And I think like it's just good to like show like just the different sides of you, you know what I mean? And I know that you're doing like different characters. Like, was a Wet Water
Miz, man. Yo, I got Wet Water Miz. He was born out of just, I'm getting into more acting and stuff, man. I'm like,
indeed.
I mean, I'm like, I take some intro to acting classes right now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like really just understand it more rather than just want to do it. I'm trying to step into it differently and have fun. But yeah, I have a character, Wet Water Miz. He's my cowboy character. He was created to deal with my sad moments in life. I could just become him for a moment. And he's like, he has his things, you know, he has his own personality. Then I have Hollywood Hernia, you know, who's like a wrestler who talks really quietly. Then I have my brother Colin Heiser. You guys know him. He was one of my videos called Powdered Wig and all, man. If you guys want to see it.
Yeah, he sounds German, yo. Colin Heiser.
And with all that, it's like exactly that. I'm trying to show that, and I'm trying to show that side of me within the music. That's why Colin Heiser is in one of the videos, you know? He's in the first video, Mad King. And to me, it's the same thing as before, though. It's like, it's a different way to, there's a message in all of my music, but I'm not preaching a message. I'm having fun. I'm making music because it's fun. I'm showing who I am, honestly. And I'm marketing to the masses, man. And there is a message in it. People are going to dance to the revolution now instead of be mad at it. You know what I mean? They don't, you know what I mean? Like, let's dance to it. You don't, if you don't know what you're dancing to, that's cool. That's even better because you'll figure it out eventually.
Let it soak in there subliminally.
Yeah. So when you guys hear the album called King Mizo, like, exactly, take it in as a project. To me, it's an art piece. It's a full art piece. I have reasons behind every song, and to me, it's an art piece, man. And I've never taken this much time on an album, even though the songs were created so quickly, like you're saying, because it's almost effortless. I freestyled a lot of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
I just want to throw out something there, mad quick, to everybody. I don't know if people use Twitter a lot, but on Twitter, I use it. And yesterday, one of the greatest moments happened. Somebody just wrote, "Sometimes racism be mad funny, yo." And like, it turned out to be a huge thread of like, not everybody is going to laugh at the same fucking racist joke. Okay, I get that. But there are times where racist shit happens and the best way to deal with it is to laugh at the absurdity of the whole fucking, like, yo, like some of this redneck, like, white people ignorance can be, you don't take it seriously. You just have to laugh at it like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is just silly. And like, there were some really hilarious jokes that came out of it and some really funny clips. And some Spike Lee stuff came out from Do the Right Thing where it's like, yeah, some of that shit was mad funny. Like, there's some funny jokes. But anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. Because honestly, it's really good. I never was afraid of you, Mizo. But like, I know some people were afraid of you back in the day. They're like, yo, man, those SFA guys, yo, fuck the shit up, yo, they'll tear it up. But like, I'm just saying, it's like, it's good to see you smiling more than ever in a good place in your life. Like, you radiate good energy. You're like, you're really, it's just, it comes out of your words and action. So I'm just happy for you.
Yo, thank you, bro. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no, I mean it. I mean it.
I know you do. Yeah,
and likewise, like I can see it. You know what I mean? Like, even right now, you kind of got this like halo kind of glow going on.
I can glow.
Got me right now.
Yeah, this should be the album cover.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, no, but it's good to see that you're in a good space, man. But speaking of which, like, I'm just scared, like, just like, well, what else have you been doing just for like self-care and just like balance and just keep it on like on point.
Not to have a plug, but it is kind of a plug. Blue Lotus Egyptian tea, for inflammation, to help you sleep. You know what I mean? For a lot of good, there's a lot of benefits behind it.
Yes, okay.
Boom, cinchona. You know what I mean? If you're feeling sick, it's like,
yo, what is that? What is cinchona? What was that stuff?
It's bark from a tree, and it's basically like where quinine is from.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
So it's good if you have fevers. Bitter King, the same thing. They say, Dr. Sebi said Bitter King actually cures things like cancer and stuff like that, We got different blends, herbal blends. You know what I mean? This is like what we've been doing out here.
All right.
I love how we just has this like on deck, like right away.
Our whole house is like half factory.
Okay.
Zen sticks, yo. So my girl makes most of these products, and
that's what's up.
And it's like, it's our business, and anyone wants to know, smokecalligraphy.com. But these things actually help me smoke cigarettes. I mean, help me quit cigarettes.
Okay.
Like, actually, it worked on me. It helped me quit cigarettes, and I haven't had a cigarette since last November, and I don't want one. You know what I mean?
Yo, what? Yo, I need that. What stuff are you talking about that helped you quit?
It was the Happy Blend, right?
The Rose Blend is more for quitting.
The Rose Blend, but it's one of these. It's the Rose Blend. I'll talk to you after this.
No, that's hard, man, because I know, like, man, Mizo love those bogeys, and I always be like, I was that guy, man. I'm like, yo, man. So that's dope, man. Like, so that's basically a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was pretty easy with this, man.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. And all these things even help with like alcohol. Like if you're trying to quit alcohol and you're trying to regenerate your mind, regenerate cells and focus, memory, and nerve support. This is like a tincture because we have raw powder, but I don't really like a tincture. Yeah. It's easier. And things like that, man. There's a lot of different things, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. You know, I'm still not where I want to be with it. I'm working on it, but we have this is what I've been doing, this type of stuff, and the Reiki like you were doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
energy work.
And other than that, just like things I enjoy other than like where the ego lives, like acting to me has become really fun and freeing. I haven't even done any of it. I've just been thinking about it. The most acting I've done is Wet Water Mist stuff. But it's like someone wrote something with me in mind. I just kept imagining what my character's gonna be. I'm like, I'm gonna go to classes before I start filming. I'm gonna take these classes, and like I'm so excited. Like when I went to the studio for the first time in my life, recorded, then I came home and I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, yo, that's how I felt. That's how I felt when I went to that reading. And like I'm really excited about this acting thing right now, man.
Yo, that's amazing. Run with it.
Salute, man.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man. We're definitely excited to see like your future endeavors. Like when does the new album drop again?
So October 2nd, the new album drops, and it has we have a virtual release party happening with it in Decentraland with like virtual wearables, all that good stuff. But October 2nd, you can get it everywhere on decentralized platforms and Spotify and all that, whatever.
Okay, like is there like any NFTs to go with this? Like any?
Yeah, so we're gonna have NFT wearables. Rare, we have 500 King Mizo t-shirts with my logo on it. That's wearables for the character in game, you know. And they cost, so your avatar when you go into Decentraland, if you want, you can buy it, and it'll cost $50, but the price goes up on this stuff as soon as it's sold out, and it's rare. So there's 500 of them, but we're gonna be giving away 250. So whoever shows up, you're probably getting a wearable. Whoever shows up, they're probably gonna get. It's not even a surprise, but there's gonna be an NFT release that day of 4 songs, and it's 4 songs that are closer to the 90s, but still from this moment. It's just 4 songs. It's a 4-song EP that's only going to be released as NFTs, and there'll be 10 copies of it, and boom, you might get a few drops of those, and that's it,
what's up, man. Yeah. All right, man. Yo, man. Well, we're gonna look out for that, man. October 2nd, man. Plug in, get into digital spaces, and yo, man, it's just really good to see that you're in a good space, always being creative. Tapping into your talent, because like you really do have a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always known that, I've always said that over and over, and it's really cool to see you tapping into it and just expanding it. You know what I mean? So big up to you for that. I'm excited to see like what the future looks like and the acting. I think it's gonna be hilarious. You know what I mean? So
run with that, yo, get your Tupac on, yo, like straight up. Man, like,
yo, what's funny is that's like, I was telling my girl about the script I'm in, because these brothers wrote it for me, and I kept loafing because I've been nervous. And then I'm like, I just been loafing because I'm nervous, but I'm ready. And then this guy's like, I went there. They're like, I know you would be. I went there. The role's still there for me. And it's like, the thing is, it is kind of a Juice role, bro. The character reminds me of Juice almost.
Yo, that's yo, you got that energy like for real in your real life on both sides. Like you're real calm and you can be real fire. So like I know on screen, if the director gives you good dialogue and it just frames it right, that'll be a sick movie. Like,
yo, respect, man. I'm excited to test my skills out, man. I'm like ready, man. I've been getting
we have like. Well, I was gonna say like we have like big dogs who are like actors and whatnot. Shout out to Umpo, Koaho. Like, I know you can reach out to him. He can give you some pointers and whatnot. Like, I'm excited to see this, yo. That's peace.
Umpo's legend, bro. Brother Umpo's legend, man.
Yo, quick shout out to this guest. We have Paste Pockets. I talked with Miz once because I know Anton. Mindbender once came to my apartment because I know Carrie and Weeze. Word up. So, yeah, it's just 6 degrees of separation. Somebody who knows most of us. So, big up all of our lovely friends out there, coast to coast. And,
that's it, man. I'm coming towards the end of our session today, man. It's been great, building, catching up, sharing a lot of positivity. I hear some clicking sounds. I don't know where.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's been great building and just seeing like the evolution of things. Oh, you like pouring water or something?
LBA crew in Edmonton, big up.
Okay. All
So
right,
yo, I just want to say, yo, it's so good to see your face. I want to see your acting. I want to see your new endeavors, and I got to talk to you about that cigarette business because the devil got the lasso around my throat. And
plug in those websites again. You know, like the music and then the remedies.
So I would say just follow me on Instagram, King Mizo made it, but then go to Gorilla Music, GUERRILLA Music, Gorilla. So gorillamusic.com. That's where you'll get all our music, and go to Smoke Calligraphy, spelled properly, smokecalligraphy.com, and that's where you'll get the meds. We're out of the tea, but the tea should be back up in like a few days.
All right, sweet, man. That's what it is. You know, we're here. Like that's the motive right now. That's like the evolution of hip hop to me. Like, you know, like it's about healing. Like healing. How do we connect? How do we better understand ourselves? How do we bring in more of that heart, you know, energy, you know what I mean, and into our existence, you know what I mean? So that's blessed, man. Right on schedule, yo. Right on schedule.
Let's go. Thank you, guys. Yo, appreciate
it. Yo, mad love, man. Next.
All right, man. Love. Big up to everyone that came through today, man, showing love, man. It's Reminisce Show every Tuesday. Hearing the traditions of Sankofa, man, and just, you know, inspiring each other and building, man. So we'll see y'all next week, man, as always.
Sandy, Pacey, Patrick. Yeah.
Peace.